We want to express our gratitude to everyone for joining our inaugural Impact event last weekend and attending today's Impact Thursday event.
I work with creating new textiles from fabric waste. And it is hard. It takes about, it's hard because I don't have yards of fabric to work with. And I chose to do this because there is a lot of fabric waste with the current, fashion industry. And with that said, I guess like the challenges that I personally face with Rio Tasso would be number one, of course, the burning question of why is there so much fabric waste. It is always something that stresses me out, and which is why I do what I do. Instead of buying rolls of fabric, I choose to create my own from fabric waste, and it takes 10 times more work. But there is a lot of material, and why use up new material when there is current material that we can use to create new things that I can still continue to do what I love, but without sacrificing fabric waste, adding to the current waste that already exists in our world. So yeah,
it is very, very important for consumers to look at the label and see what the consumption of your fabric is. You have the power, you have the biggest power to change wherever you are right now, whether you are in corporate or whether you are in your private practice as a fashion designer. You have in your hands the ability to meet the deadline for Mother Earth. You can push your bosses. You don't have to lower down your principles or your standards as a fashion designer just to meet costs, because they will listen to you. You will just have to say, this is the trend, and they will follow.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That was such a wonderful and powerful discussion right there. It's short but sweet and really impactful. And thank you so much for all the things that you do. Your passion is really encouraging and very influential to us. So please keep on doing what you are doing, and we shall just follow suit. Part 2, definitely. Oh, wow. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Giving for Good Impact, Healing Our Home, Our Shared Calling. My name is Abby Cruz Ramos, Binibining Pilipinas 2007 runner-up, model, beauty queen, events host, personal development coach, and licensed financial advisor. I will be your MC for today's Giving for Good event. I am so happy to see all of you joining from all parts of the world. As you may know, the Giving for Good fundraising campaign is ongoing, and one of the components of the fundraiser is this event. Thank you so much to those who have donated or have bid in the auction. If you have not yet donated, you will have many opportunities to give to GFG today. All proceeds of this GFG campaign will go to forwarding the work of Giving for Good, a signature project of WFWP International, a 501c3 nonprofit. Without further ado, I'd like to invite up here Mrs. Merly Berlan to give the opening remarks. Mrs. Berlan is the International Vice President, Chief Administrative Officer, and Director of the WFWPI Office for UN Relations in New York. Please help me welcome Mrs. Merly Berlan.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Abby. Wow, you are such a burst of beauty and energy. Thank you so much. To our honored guests, colleagues, and friends, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me begin by expressing my deepest gratitude on behalf of Women's Federation for World Peace International and the Giving for Good team in New York. Thank you, everyone. We extend our most sincere appreciation to all of you and to our dedicated volunteers, colleagues, sponsors, and partners for entrusting us and for sharing with us your hopes and dreams of building a world of peace and of healing our home and our planet. Welcome to the Giving for Good second annual Impact Celebration. Today, we will highlight the impact of Giving for Good's 12 climate action grant projects in 11 countries. The theme of this year's Giving for Good campaign is Healing Our Home, Our Shared Calling. As you may have known already, the three areas of focus for our Women's Federation UN office here in New York are bridging divides, raising peace, loving global leaders, and women and the environment. And I'd like to share with you first my enlightening experience when our team went to Hawaii to prepare for this event and for our annual auction. The beautiful, pristine nature of Hawaii is a testament to God's love, His unconditional gift, and a promise to humanity. The Big Island of Hawaii is the newest land formation on Earth, just a million-year old, and it is growing by 42 acres each year due to the Mount Kilauea volcano's lava production. Hawaii is a paradise on Earth. Everyone who goes to Hawaii, they forget their earthly worries for a while. My most important learning in Hawaii was that nature is God's love and God's gift to humanity. If we take care of it, it will return us tremendous joy and peace and happiness in our hearts and our minds. We don't have to worry about our current existential crisis. It wouldn't have been existing. Um, if we create our own little paradise in our home and in our communities, we can heal our planet little by little. And as we heal our planet, we spread and we spark joy for others and heal ourselves. In today's program, you will hear inspiring initiatives and stories of impact from Africa and Asia of how our women and women leaders and our young women leaders are carrying small but impactful solutions that can be replicated in our respective communities. This includes upcycling, solar lights, creating community food forests, showcasing our climate adaptation projects as a universal, hopeful, regenerative models to achieve food security and the health and well-being of the people and the planet. We thank Dr. Jin Moon for initiating the Giving for Good project and inspiring many young leaders around the world. The driving force behind Women's Federation relentless efforts to serve and solve the world's problem is a longing heart of a mother, a sister, a daughter, longing to end the suffering of their families and humanity and create an environment for a beautiful and peaceful world. Without investing in the healing of our hearts, true empowerment and sustainable development will be an impossible goal to achieve. I'd like to borrow some words from the founder, Dr. Hakjahan Moon, as she boldly declares that the hope for humanity comes from mothers. She said, and I quote, "The world of peace is not initially accomplished on the global or even national level. Peace must first be realized in the individual and the family because these form the basis for all human organizations and systems. Core issues of world peace essentially depend on the question of how peace can be attained within individual and the family. WFWPI aims to bring awareness to personal responsibility of the climate crisis and actionize implementation of planetary healing from home. Let us take the shared calling sincerely. Let us be the spark of joy like a flashlight in this dark world. Let's shine our lights ever so brightly together and stronger so we can heal each other and heal the world. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Mrs. Merly Varlaan, for the inspiring address. I can see your drive and your enthusiasm for healing the people and the planet is the driving force for giving for good. Next, we will be showcasing the GFG Impact video, which will showcase a glimpse of each of Giving for Good's 12 climate action projects around the world. Enjoy!
Women's Federation for World Peace, with the partnership of Giving for Good International, initiated the project of Global Climatic Social Action of the Amazon River. This project is an initiative to bring solutions and use clean and potable water for families in the riverside communities by acquiring water filter to purify the water before consumption.
So part of the bags was made from the recycled fabric which we collected from our guests and contacts, and part of them was made with the bought fabric. And here are the examples of our bags.
Hello, greetings from Burkina Faso. We moved our project to just plantation of trees to plantation of fruit trees. We introduced about 7 different kinds of fruits like mangoes, papaya, oranges, lemon, and guavas. About 7 different kinds of fruits.
My excitement is all about thinking of our future generation, how we have to act better for them to live in a healthy environment, and also gaining experience by interacting with other people, having their conception of how we can make our environment look better.
A total of 1,000 students were sensitized on the circular economy, waste management, the SDGs, and the importance of keeping a healthy environment, as well as how they can ensure responsible consumption and production within their school compounds and homes. They produced various objects using recyclable materials in their environment.
Many families still have electricity problems in the village. 2. Our project has enabled many families to have solar lamps in many villages.
This is the area. It's so nice. These are men who are working, men and women, helping us to plant the trees.
I take this initiative from the families which has benefited to say thank you so much to International Office of Women Federation for World Peace International for supporting us.
The solar lights do help me and us as community to when our kids do their homeworks, they do get help with the solar lights. And also the solar lights help us in the house as human, as we are no more suffering, because now we've got solution which is solar lights. Now our life is much better.
The solution that we come up with is the Permaculture Literacy Project with the following goals. First is food security, health and well-being of the family, and the regenerative healing of the planet through the practice of permaculture. Also, to mobilize critical mass of young people and families to advocate for holistic well-being of people and ecosystem restoration, and to raise 40 peace-loving environmental stewards and permaculture teachers. Successful and inspiring aspect of the project would be the heartfelt testimonies of our participants.
I am Dale and I came from the island province of Bohol, Philippines. I think this project is really beneficial and it really helped me to envision the social impact that this initiative is trying to generate. And in that, I was able to somehow truly understand the real and the deep nature of the problems of our community is facing. And I truly believe that in this generation, we the young people are the victims of these harsh realities. And thus, we are taking ownership and we are standing firm to really help our own community in combating these environmental issues. And with that, I am asking each one of you to continue supporting us, supporting our advocacies, and support other young people who are dreaming for a peaceful, happy, and prosperous world.
Thank you so much, Women's Federation for World Peace International UN Office and Mr. and Mrs. Saminaka.
Wow, that was great. Thank you so much to Miss Christine Bulayo for creating that amazing video. You know, it's truly inspiring to see different projects helping different communities with unique needs to act for climate action. Next, I'd like to introduce an incredible speaker for the keynote address, Dr. Sun Jin Moon. She is the founder of Giving for Good International and the Senior Vice President of WFWPI. Dr. Moon received a baccalaureate in psychology from Harvard University. She was awarded an honorary doctorate from Sun Moon University. She is currently studying for a master's in clinical and counseling psychology in education at Columbia University. In 2020, she founded the Giving for Good project with WFWP to raise awareness and funds for WFWP humanitarian activities supporting the UN SDGs. Please help me welcome Dr. Sun Jin Moon.
Thank you so much, Abby. Amazing emceeing, and Merle, a wonderful introduction. Greetings and welcome to you all for Giving for Good virtual event. We're so glad to have you all here. And I think this is live streaming on Facebook or on other channels. So welcome to all wherever you are. We are so happy to be having this virtual event and fundraising, an auction event. And I want to just give you a presentation about who we are, what Giving for Good is, how it started, and what impact it has had, as you saw in the video, and what we continue to pledge to do for the future of this world. So I'll present. I hope you can all see my screen. Welcome. This is Giving for Good in one sentence. We conserve the earth and all life through outreach, humanitarian aid, and circular fashion, with the motto, Earth is our home and all life is our family. And this kind of started right when COVID began and everybody went into lockdown. And it was actually my first experience.
You can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen. Oh, let me try this again. Sorry for that. Can you see it now?
Yes, we do.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Mako. Technical problems. All right, I'm going to try it again, starting over. As you heard probably, now you can see it. Giving for Good is, in a sentence, we conserve all life and the earth through outreach, humanitarian aid, and circular fashion. And our motto is Earth, our home, all life, our family. And like I was saying, it began during COVID. And I just began working with Women's Federation for World Peace, a UN ECOSOC affiliated organization, which had 30 glorious years of amazing brick and mortar humanitarian aid and education projects. And due to the coronavirus and the lockdowns, we weren't able to raise donations and our membership was declining. And our beneficiaries who are in need were in more need, also impacted by COVID. Given these issues, we were deeply trying to figure out a way that we can continue to find a way to support our beneficiaries. And out of that problem came the solution, which is interesting because during the stay-at-home COVID era, I'm sure everybody watched Netflix. And one of the shows on Netflix that popped up to view, recommended for viewing, was Marie Kondo's Tidying Up. And that show, in the second show of that, one family cleaned their home and they had 80 bags of garbage from when they cleaned and emptied out their home of all the things they no longer needed. But they left all that trash outside their door and it just caught me. Where does that trash go? And it was interesting enough, that night I had a dream and my father was in my dream and he said, figure that out, find where that garbage goes and figure it out and make a solution. So interestingly enough, I was accepted also into the Columbia program at that time. And I was able to further this project of Giving for Good through my small mini experiment of selling my items that I cleansed my home, gave things away that I no longer found spark joy, and I sold my items on resale sites. And I was able to raise $750 from resale items. And I was able to donate that to Women's Federation in America. And in that same action, because it worked for me, we did it ourselves with Women's Federation. And on that year of COVID, the first year of COVID, 2020, we were able to raise $100,000 US dollars for our beneficiaries just by doing resale. And this was not a burden financially or physically to our members. And the Giving for Good project began, and it gave us tremendous hope. And the other thing that we found was that it actually was in line with our UN mission as a UN NGO. It advocated the UN SDGs and proposed a climate change solution, which was a nice way for things to happen. And it was through the class, Spirituality and Entrepreneurship, with my professor, Dr. Jack McGordy's Venture for All program, that this project kind of went into a research mode and an actionable mode where we were able to create a business plan aimed at doing sustainable, responsible practices. So this was the foundation for Giving for Good. And what I learned from that research, and what I'm sure the entire world is witnessing right now, is that climate action is a very important action. There is no country currently that is not experiencing the drastic effects of climate change. We know here with extreme floods, drought, fires all over the world, amazing record-breaking climate disasters. And it's currently through the IPCC, we know from the climate scientists that the global climate actions need to be taken. And the threat, even though it is an existential threat, it's not irreversible. That human action created climate change, and that good, sustainable human action can reverse climate change. So there's hope if we act. Currently, major problems that we always think of in our daily life is how the economy is doing, how this affects me. Climate change is something that's happening elsewhere. But if you really look at the numbers, the approximate economic losses from climate-related disasters in the last 2 decades account for 77% of the total economic losses. That equals $2.245 trillion globally. So that, if you think about it, it's a big price ticket if we don't do something about that. And it's not only to mention that the human impact of geophysical disasters, are 91% climate related. And in the years 1999 to 2017, that's not currently taking into account all the current climate disasters, 1.3 million people were killed during those climate disasters, and 4.4 billion people around the world were injured. And I think the current number is 7.8 billion people in the world. That's more than half the world being impacted by climate disaster. So these actions must go hand in hand with the efforts to integrate disaster risk measures, sustainable natural resource management, and human security into national development strategies. And on top of that, not only climate change, we are also still in the endemic battle with the pandemic, COVID-19. And this is changing our global landscape and our way of life. And this is really an opportunity to make collective change if we think about it, because all of this is interconnected and our Earth is calling out for us to take action. And this is something I didn't know, because as all you beautiful ladies here, we all love fashion. But the fashion industry, there are some statistics that will surprise you. It is notorious for the wasteful, environmentally damaging practices, accounting for over 10% of global emissions. And it's going to increase in 2050 to 24% of the global carbon budget. And much is due to the synthetic and fibers primarily used in fast fashion. Now just get this, 70 million barrels of oil are used to produce polyester every year, that's just yearly, and this wasteful practice exacerbates this climate impact. And it turns out that one garbage truck of textiles is landfilled or incinerated every second. So if you imagine every second, we've been here for 5 minutes, that is insane amount of trucks going into landfills. And to highlight that, the apparel industry remains the second largest industrial polluter, second only to oil or fossil fuels. So many think that, oh, it's all fossil fuels polluting the earth. Well, second to that is the fashion industry. And it's a $3 trillion global industry that if we can impact with the UN SDGs, we can create enormous functional value and change. And what we're here today is for sustainability. And the reasons to buy and sell secondhand is very apparent if you just listen to these simple statistics. In America, an average American throws away 81 pounds of clothes a year. That's 10.5 million tons of clothing in America. That's just yearly thrown away. Worldwide, that adds up to 26 billion pounds of clothing that goes into landfills. And 60% of the clothes that are made are non-biodegradable synthetic materials that sit in landfills. And these synthetic fibers release nitrous oxide, a greenhouse gas that is 310 times stronger than carbon dioxide. And we must be conscious of the energy, oil, water waste, and pollution that each item we consume creates. Now, if you think about it, one pair of jeans approximately takes 1,800 gallons of water and generates greenhouse gases equivalent to driving over 80 miles in your car. And that's just one pair of jeans. And pollution, 90% of the cotton that we use in textiles are genetically modified, heavily reliant on chemicals and pesticides, and contaminate the water and acidify the oceans and are dumped into the soil in poor and underdeveloped countries with no environmental protection laws, leaving the vulnerable and them to poor health. So it really is the impact in all the world. The UN is the #1 worldwide global fighter against climate change. And they have done a lot of tremendous work, especially with the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, that were known as global goals, where all United Nations member states in 2015 all adopted the universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. And these 17 SDGs, they are integrated, they're all connected. So it affects every level that we must balance through social, economic, environmental, all levels of society. And through the pledge to leave no one behind, countries have committed a fast track for those furthest left behind, bringing several life-changing zeros to include zero poverty, hunger, AIDS, discrimination against women and girls. And these, all the efforts that we're doing, especially in our NGO, it really starts from the individual to the family, community, society, and nation and world. And this is why every person is needed to reach these ambitious targets. And we need creativity, the know-how, technology, financial resources from all of society. So one of these creative projects like Giving for Good is able to contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals through what we do is circular fashion. And this just starts with all the raw materials from the earth being designed, produced, distributed, sold, and bought in the stores, and we wear it and then it ends up in landfill. That's a linear model. The circular model looks to, at this point, disrupt that linear trajectory and reuse, recycle, or repurpose, or upcycle whatever we can so that this loop is closed and we no longer tap into the raw materials. And we continue to keep this loop of recycled materials, which lessens all the impact of the 80% of discarded textiles going into landfills currently, with only 20% reused and recycled. So we're looking to flip that percentage. And just to give you a glimpse about how simple it is, if you buy one new t-shirt or one new pair of jeans, that creates 75 pounds of CO2. Now, if you just bought one recycled or auctioned off in our auction pair of jeans, you would be saving the equivalent of 5.7 billion pounds of CO2, the equivalent of 66 million trees planted. And if you bought one new t-shirt, that would basically use up 700 gallons of water. But if you bought one recycled t-shirt or shirt from our auction or anywhere, you would be saving 25 billion gallons of water, which equals 1.25 billion showers saved. And the greatest impact is that 1 in 2 people are throwing away their clothes straight into the trash. That leaves 64% of the 32 billion garments produced that end up in landfills each year, polluting our earth. So you can be that change that we want to see in this world by just donating your items or buying whatever are resale items or auction items or used, previously loved, that's what we call it, items. You would be saving 449 million pounds of waste, equaling 18,700 garbage trucks full of, as we know, toxic waste from that going into landfills and threatening and polluting our environment. So that's just a small snapshot of what we are trying to do with circular fashion, the good we have done in the sake of the UN Sustainable Goals, and our continued work in WPI, the Social Venture Project GFG, that we use donated items resold through circular fashion and raise funds for global humanitarian and environmental aid of your choice. And as you saw in our beautiful video, this is the impact of 12 recipients all over the world that we were able to help. And that was only done by the efforts of our team here in the USA that had the auction here, which raised a little bit over $60,000 from circular fashion and our auction. And I think one of the key leaders of that effort is here, Mrs. Ward. We thank you for your contribution. But that was able to help all these climate action, these 12 projects you see here. But also internationally, we raised $250 million that went to charities all around, not a billion, $250 million. That would be the goal, to raise $250 million, but $250 to serve underserved communities all around the globe. So that is just within 2 years, the impact we had. And it's amazing, the outreach. And we haven't only been giving to others for good, but I just want to share with you some positive proven health benefits that help you for giving. So it's a win-win situation. It's proven that giving lowers your blood pressure, it reduces stress, It increases empathy, and it increases self-esteem and self-efficacy, which is the ability that you feel you can do and impact and change the world. It increases life expectancy, and it lowers chronic pain. And it promotes connectedness and a social kind of contagion where it multiplies, the good multiplies, that others want to do good when they see you do good. So it's really a way to just create a circle of continuous good happening in your life and in others' lives. And it also has not only health benefits, but well-being benefits, as you know, positive psychology. By shifting one's perspective, instead of looking at climate change and the world, oh, we can't solve this existential crisis. What can I do? It's just horrible. Instead of thinking like that, looking at it with optimism that we can make change. We need to make change, and we shall make change. And looking into whether it's your closet, cleaning it out and seeing that, oh, I have tons of things to give, and giving it and creating that good change that you're able to do. And when you do those positive good things, the love and care hormone oxytocin creates greater trust, empathy, and your life mortality, and boosts your overall well-being. And it's interesting that in science, they've studied that givers experience more meaning, while people who receive experience more happiness. But actually, if you continue this cycle, the people who give also receive happiness. So there's this reciprocal action of continuous joy when you give and take for good. And that happiness and joy you create is contagious. So when you're happy and you create a happy world, your friends are happy, your families are happy, your relationships are happy, as well as your workplace, your peers. And interestingly enough, it can have a ripple effect that it creates more success in your life. So the happier you are, the more good you do, the more people you have who love you, and you're more successful. So this is a wonderful positive aspect to giving. And that is what we're here to do. So literally, we give for good, you donate, we resell and raise funds for your chosen charity, and you save people and the planet, and we all thank you. Also, the positive benefits of positive psychology, it's pro-social engagement, agency, communion, giving, meaning, gratitude, and a higher purpose. And as our founders taught, living for the sake of others, which is the highest way to live your life, as well as offsetting the UN SDGs, supporting that with climate change and raising awareness and advocacy. So we thank you. I've spent over a couple of decades in this beautiful island of Hawaii that Merle was talking about earlier. And I feel like sometimes a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? We are so blessed by all of nature's bounty, the incredible beauty, just the awe and the nourishment and the joy that we receive and the vitality we receive from all these divine gifts of creation. And currently we know that's at threat. And we thank you for all joining us in our efforts in Giving for Good and our UN NGO and all the efforts you all continue to contribute to for the sake of this world. And from Hawaii, we would like to offer 5 gifts from the founder's #1 award-winning Hawaiian Queen Coffee, Kona Coffee Farm. This is a gift of aloha from our trees that flower, create fruit, ripen, and are handpicked and harvested, sorted, milled, and dried, and roasted with love to your cup. We'd like to thank all of you for contributing and our presenters with these gifts. So please enjoy. And as we say in Hawaii, mahalo, which is thank you, and aloha, which means we love you. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Wow. Thank you so, so much, Dr. Moon. Let's all give it up for GFG's founder. That was so inspiring, Dr. Moon. Thank you so, so much. It's incredible to also see the positive health benefits of giving. You know, Dr. Moon herself donated items from her closet for the auction. So this is your sign to give. Next, we will transition to introducing our 3 exemplary Giving for Good projects. I have the honor of first inviting up Ms. Kefilwe Lebepe, the coordinator of the GFGI Cloth Nappy Climate Action Project in Limpopo, South Africa. Her passion lies in development, the environment, and helping to uplift the lives of others. Ms. Lebepe holds a bachelor's degree in economics and transports economics from the University of South Africa. Through the support of WFWP Global Committees, Ms. Lebepe was inspired to initiate a project that would uplift the lives of others while spreading the message of peace. Ms. Kefilwe Lebepe, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction, Abby. And I would like to greet all the guests and donors here today, as well as the leaders. And to Dr. Jin Moon, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I think now our guests will understand what it is that inspired us. All right, I hope you can all see my screen. I'm going to talk about the Limpopo Cloth Nappy Project in Radikali, South Africa, a project which was made possible by Giving for Good International. After getting inspired by the Global Committee on Environment and Giving for Good, our goal was to tackle the following issues: maintaining the dignity of women and their families, environmental care, employment creation, as well as providing cloth diapers to babies. And solutions to reach our goals. The resources we had to reach our goals were given to us by Giving for Good, and through that we were able to connect with other partners. We were welcomed by the tribal leaders of Radikali, who were able to guide us on the best way to socially approach the situation. We also had environmental consultants and an academic guiding us. And in this project, the nonprofit organization C&C4C, which had already helped hundreds of babies in South Africa, advised us and used their expertise to ensure that the project succeeds the first time around. And here is our amazing team at the beginning of the project. They were in training and getting to know each other. The funds from the donation received were used to purchase fabric, sewing machines, and equipment needed to make good quality cloth diapers. And one of the benefits of this project is that we reached our goals to empower women by helping them to have a source of income. So we brought in 2 skilled but unemployed seamstresses who got started right away. And you can see here in the picture, they are busy with the sewing machines and also helping each other. Okay, and then another goal that was reached is that our ladies learned new skills as they had never made cloth nappies before. And as you can see, these are the beautiful products that were made through our project. And then this video was actually featured earlier in the video. And I'm just going to read the short testimony by the moms. And they're saying that the good thing about these nappies is that you can buy a few at a time. You can buy a few at a time, and soon enough, you'll have enough diapers. You'll get financial relief, and our community will look better with less pollution. They're so easy to wash, and they don't leak. They last from birth right up until the baby no longer needs them. The babies no longer suffer from diaper rash, and the quality is so good that they can be used on the next baby. And here's another testimony from another happy user. This is Mpilo, and his caretaker had the following to say. The nappies are good and soft, especially the polar fleece layer. They're also easy to wash and dry. Mpilo is comfortable. They are really, really good and easy to maintain. Thank you. So let's keep in mind as well that a lot of babies from poverty-stricken families go for days without diapers. Some babies are also potty trained too soon, and this can lead to bladder incontinence later in life, and this will impact the confidence of the child. So this is where we're really focusing on the dignity of women and their families. All these women no longer have stress about the cost of diapers, as they save up to 90% of single-use diaper costs. And then the environmental benefit. When we launched the project, we started with a cleanup campaign. As you can see, this is a beautiful land polluted by single-use plastic diapers. This is a problem that we aim to completely eradicate through our project. And now for the future plans. This project was successful beyond our expectation, even though even now people are still coming to purchase the cloth diapers, and we're still donating to those in extreme poverty. The next step is to expand the project so that cloth diapers become mainstream. Our NGO partner also offered to take on our seamstresses to make their diapers for them. But for this, we need more industrialized sewing machines so that the product can have a more finishing touch. And in conclusion, through the Giving for Good initiative, it not only gave us a donation, but offered training and support throughout the project. And they continue to do so, even though the project has officially ended. They gave us the start we needed and connected us to a network of people and experts around the world. Through their clear vision, we were able to have a successful project. With this sustainable project, their legacy will live on as we are now empowered to continue giving for good. Thank you very much.
Wow, how incredible. You know, I was so moved to hear that the Cloth Nappy Project involved the organization of the community and helped build a self-sustaining model which empowers women. Thank you so much, Miss Lebepe. Next up, we have Mrs. Susan Kone, the WFWP International Vice President of Africa. Mrs. Kone is an incredible leader who helped spearhead an environmental initiative which lights up the homes of African villages in a way that's safe for people and the planet. Everyone, help me welcome Mrs. Susan Kone.
Thank you so much for that incredible introduction. Thank you so much to our Senior Women Federation International Vice President, Dr. Jin Moon, and also Mary Barand, the Director of UN Office, and our team for organizing this incredible program. And to all our distinguished guests and visitors, our donors, our volunteers, and our staff, welcome to this program, which is very enlightening about the importance of environment and also the climate change, how we can deal with it. So I'm going to present to you one of the projects that we started in Kenya. And it was kindly sponsored by Women Federation International and also the Giving for Good International. Can you see it? Yeah, right. Right. All right. So are you able to see it here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is the Giving for Good International program. The project itself is called the Green Solar Energy for the African Villages, and sponsored by the Women Federation International and Giving for Good International. It's actually was created because there is a real big problem across Africa. The continent itself, it has many issues especially things to do with electricity. And it's estimated that over 600 million people do not have access to electricity, with a total population of nearly 1 billion. It is reported that there are likely 100 to 200 million kerosene lamps damaging the health, polluting the air, and wasting the precious money of families in rural African off-grid communities. Those are the communities who do not have electricity. And the common sources of light in the villages is normally the candles, and also the lanterns, and also, like the lanterns which are made locally, and sometimes even firewood. And it's very, very dangerous for the health. We also have the people, even the students who use it for even studying in the evenings, as you can see. It's very, very dangerous, and especially because it has the kerosene itself, it has fumes, which is really difficult when you inhale, you actually get problems in the especially respiratory problems. And also sometimes it also causes the eye problems and tearing of the eyes, and this is very difficult for many students to study with it. As you can see, the one in the middle there is a bit difficult for the students to use that kind of lantern. And the green solar energy for the African villages was initiated in Kenya in 2020 under the sponsorship of the Women's Federation for World Peace and the Giving for Good International. The objective of the project was to empower the rural women in Africa through home economics, education, and provision of solar lamps to uplift their living standards. The projects were implemented in 2020 and also this year, 2020, and have benefited hundreds of homesteads in rural Africa. So this is the kind of solar that we are giving. Like it can be fitted in any kind of house, as you can see. But eventually we are going to include or to involve many bigger companies or bigger institutions who can be able to donate even bigger solar, so that they can also benefit the communities in a bigger way. So sorry about that. Okay. So the advantages of solar energy: there is accessible anywhere and to everyone as long as there is sun, which we have plenty in Africa. And it reduces electricity bills and saving money for the homesteads. Typically labeled as a green source of energy due to the lack of harmful environment side effects associated with its use, solar lamps avert tons of harmful carbon dioxide and enabling school children to study after the sunset and improving their possibilities of excelling in education. And there's also the aspect of reducing cutting of trees. Some of these communities, they do use even trees for, like the firewood, for even the lighting. Apart from the cooking itself, they continue in the evening, burning the firewood because they want to, to continue seeing the light, and and also like using the firewood as the light. So it's actually they consume so many trees. And this does affect the cutting of trees because the need is so much for the trees. So with the forest cover becoming smaller and smaller, smaller and smaller, you can see that actually reducing or giving the solar energy lamps, it does affect also the cutting of trees, and it reduces the cutting of trees. So it's a very good way of saving the forest and also the saving of the trees. So also some of these projects that we have done in Kenya, sorry, I'm not able to make it a bit bigger. There's a technical issue. Someone is trying to help here. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, so you can see the some of the projects that we have done there is up in a place called Bugoma. And you can see that there are some women groups who are, they are normally women groups, but they do have their community-based projects that they do. So sometimes we approach women groups and we find out what is their real issue, what is the problem that they are having. And most of the problems that they do have in the rural areas is actually about the lights. And we are able to give some lamps and also to teach them about how to maintain them. It's a one-off program. When we give them the lights, it's a one-off. So they're able, we also install them, as you can see in the middle there. They're installing in one of the homes. And there's no greater joy as seeing them, the way they are so happy. And so they feel so empowered by just giving one lamp. And the whole community changes. And this one has really affected many homesteads by having a positive energy, a positive mind, and especially in going forward in use and not eradicating kerosene lamps and also eradicating firewood, giving lights. And then also we have seen some other programs also, which have been done in other areas, in Transmara as well. This is another county. You can see that is also another project. You can also see on the left there, they are trying to actually connect that solar lamp and trying to see where it can fit in that hut. It's for real. This project has helped so many people who are really living in a very, very desperate situation. And you can see that truly there are people who are really very, very far behind the development. And sometimes we are not able to reach them. But with this solar energy program, we are able to reach all these people and we are able to introduce a solar energy program to them. Yeah, so this is another program also in another place, many beneficiaries also in another place called Kajiado. So we are trying to reach as many people as possible and many communities as possible. And many people have really benefited from it and they are very positive that truly their lives have changed for the better. The social impact is that all homestays that benefited from the lamps had a life-changing experience, not only about the solar lamps, but also this brought a ray of hope for the families. The solar energy has improved their health as the families no longer need to use kerosene, which affects their health, and especially respiratory problems and eye issues. And school children can now do their homework using the solar lamps, and this does affect their performance in school as well. And mothers can cook their food and make their crafts, perform their daily chores like milking their cows in the evening using the light of the solar. And the green solar energy is also improving the lives of families and communities, enabling them to do more in the evenings as families. So it has changed the whole aspect of the homestead. It's not just one single lamp, but one single lamp has brought hope to the whole community. So when we give one single lamp to the community, to a certain family, it changes their whole life. And also it gives them a brighter future. It's like bringing us a brighter future to their whole family, including the mother, the father, and all the children as well. So this is what it has done. And green solar energy has the future. It's actually the future for a greener planet. We want to engage like partners, like-minded individuals and institutions for sustainability, clean energy environment. And also, we also would like to join the advocacy to bring awareness at the dangers of kerosene and other unfriendly means of lighting or heating homes, and also engaging institutions, even governments, to embrace solar energy for a cleaner and greener planet. And also involving the communities themselves by creating small self-help groups to combat climate change and keeping their environment clean. So this is a way forward, and we can see that so many people who are interested in what we are doing. It started like a very small project, and we would like to thank you, the Women Federation International, and also Giving for Good for getting involved in supporting these wonderful projects. Let's all join hands and create a wonderful planet a home for all of us and our future generations. I thank you so much, and thank you so much for being with us, and we hope that you can be part and parcel of our program. I thank you all.
Wow, that's so amazing. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kone, for your presentation on lighting up African families' homes in Kenya. You know, it makes me feel so hopeful knowing that there are projects like yours which empower the lives of African families without light. So last but not the least, the final project that we are showcasing today is the Permaculture Literacy Project from Bohol, Philippines. Ms. Bulayo is the project manager of WFWP Permaculture Literacy Program and the Philippines Regional Secretary General for WFWP Asia Pacific 1. So Ms. Bulayo is a senior high and college instructor who is serving as the Governor General of the 10K Heroes United, a youth implementing arm of WFWP that focuses on climate action, initiatives, and raising peace-loving global leaders. Please help me welcome Ms. Bulayo.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Abby. Good day, everyone. Greetings to our Senior Vice President, Dr. Jin Moon, to our International Vice President, to our UN office, and of course, to everyone here on Zoom. By the way, I am Christine Rose Bulayo. I am the co-project manager of the Permaculture Literacy Project here in the Philippines. Next slide, please. The issues that we are addressing through our project is the destructive farming practices here in our place. And we observed that most of young people do not show interest in anything about gardening or farming. And for us, the main reason for that is our disconnection with nature. Next slide, please. Therefore, our vision is to raise leaders of heart and character to advocate for the holistic well-being of people and ecosystem restoration. We are also aiming for food security and the regenerative healing of the planet. And we are turning this vision into reality through our permaculture literacy program. And through permaculture, we are connecting ourselves back to nature. And we are really grateful and thankful that we are surrounded by like-minded individuals who enabled us and helped us to push forward this project, and we are seeing and experiencing amazing results. Next slide, please. So first, I would like to present to you our nearly finished permaculture training hub, which shall house the target participants to become permaculture lecturers and practitioners. Next slide, please. Also, we conducted series of consultation meetings with permaculture experts, and that's how we come to meet the founders of the Regenesis Project, which is the first restoration camp here in the Philippines and the third in Asia. And next slide, please. We started with the launching of our permaculture literacy training, and we gathered current president of Women's Association, former town councilor, agricultural technologist, municipal agriculturist, teachers, youth volunteers, and students. And it was amazing how the paths of remarkable people crossed. And since that amazing relationship, we have this hopeful plans. And part of that is the course outline for our permaculture training, which is on the next slide. Yes, next slide, please. So we started off with igniting back our natural curiosity, which we somehow lost when we turned into adults. So we started asking questions like a 5-year-old child, so igniting our desire to learn and to understand the natural world, including nature. Next slide, please. After that, we were introduced to different permaculture skill sets. We explored the microbes kingdom. We learned the basics of bokashi composting and come to know the presence and importance of effective microorganisms and indigenous microorganisms. We also tackled about water systems, that the primary goal of water is to slow, spread, sink, and which is also one great way to avoid floods. We also learn principles of organic growing and soil building and learn that it is not the plant that we are feeding. We are actually feeding the soil. So it was then we start thinking that permaculture, if it's simple, accessible, easy to understand, and inexpensive, then it should be for the community as well. So there are also important skill sets such as how to read landscapes, how to read water and lay out water systems, and most importantly, learning to work with nature and be guided by her wisdom and innate intelligence. And as you can see here on the screen, we are starting it in our permaculture site, which we aim to become the model in our place. So we are also now researching to what trees, vegetables, or crops we are going to plant to have our own food forest, which the community can benefit from. Next slide, please. So it was really amazing how the transformation of heart and character was also present. I realized that through healing nature, we can as well heal ourselves. Of course, we have met many problems along the way, but permaculture taught us to turn problems into opportunities. That's why the 10K Heroes United is established, and with its goal relating to young people's character development, by letting them experience what we had experienced and inspiring them so that it can be replicated in their barangay or community. And imagining having that kind of young people with same minds of taking care and working with nature, really, we can have this ideal world where we can live. Next slide, please. And with this project, we are in the process of working with the stakeholders. Next slide, please. So in the next 2 years, we can institutionalize permacultural literacy program for our local government units and in TESDA. And this way, the policymakers, the people as clientele, and the NGOs as partners can work through a singular vision and mission. And according to Bill Mollison, there is one and only one solution, and we have no time to almost try it. So we must turn all our resources to repairing the natural world and train all our young people to help because they want to. And we need to give them this last chance to create forests, soils, clean waters, clean energies, secure communities, stable regions, and to know how to do it from hands-on experience. And we can truly say that we can see it in this permacultural literacy program. Next slide, please. And we should, I would like to leave you with this quote that we should take every chance we could to heal and protect our local landscapes because at the end of the day, we have only one home, only one earth. So please join us in this quest and I hope you continue to support us. You can reach us through these following emails and contact numbers. Please enjoy the rest of this day. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Miss Bulayo. That's amazing. Now, let's give a round of applause to our 3 Giving for Good projects. You know, it is really thanks to inspirational women like you that we are able to build a more hopeful and greener world. Thank you to you all once again. You know, wouldn't you like to see these projects soar to even greater heights? I would like to invite Mrs. Merly Barlan again up on stage so that she can give a plug-in for the 3 projects that were just mentioned. You know, you're able to donate to any of these 3 projects to support them in their endeavors to further help their community and the planet. Mrs. Merly Berlan will also be sharing about the ongoing auction in the showroom happening this weekend in New York. Ms. Merly?
Thank you, Abby. And thank you. Thank you, Kifelwe. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Christine. I am overwhelmed with inspiration and hope. It's just amazing from 1 year ago, there was just a spark of joy a spark of inspiration from our Giving for Good founder, Dr. Jin Moon. And now how you have taken ownership of it and you put your heart, and the energy and the synergies is spreading like wildfire. When our hearts are on fire, of course it will spread like wildfire, right? And we want to cover the whole world with these energies. And so you have already seen Kifelwe, Susan, and Christine showcased how they manage their projects. And we would like to connect them to you, to anyone out there who are inspired to connect with them directly. Please, by all means. From my experience as a Women's Federation leader in Philippines and project manager, connecting directly to the donors and as partnering with them as co-owners is the most sustainable experience that we could have. So please connect to them. You have their emails, you have their information. And also I'd like to invite you to our event, another event tomorrow. This is in connection still, a part of our campaign, which is Healing Our Home, Our Shared Calling. This year's auction, we are going to have a showroom. Our showroom is open tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the New Yorker Hotel, 6th floor, room 605. Actually, this is our Women's Federation office. We turned it into a beautiful showroom. And so to those of you who live in the tri-state area, please, by all means, come over. Let's have a coffee and let's talk about solving the climate issues and buy some of our pre-loved items from the founder, Dr. Hakjahan Moon, from Dr. Jin Moon, and from the beauty queens. Abby donated her items and her clothing, as well as Miss Lara Kigaman and the Miss Earth 2017, Karen Ibasco. So please join us tomorrow. And lastly, our auction, online auction, it's been going on. It's online. You have the link in our chat box. It will end on Sunday. Please bid, and by all means, let us help each other and connect the energies to the energies of the founders, the love of the founders to the whole world and our nature, and let's enjoy. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Miss Merle. Wow. So if you guys live near the New York area, you should definitely attend or visit the showroom. And you can shop for a good cause and meet the lovely GFG team in person. But remember, even if you're not in New York, you can still bid in the auction. Thank you so much, Miss Merle. All right, so now we are nearing the end of the program, but as promised, we will be having a surprise giveaway, so don't leave yet. And you guys automatically have been entered into a raffle, and you have the chance to be one of the 10 winners. So I would like to do a shout out to Hawaiian Queen Coffee. It's an award-winning coffee farm from Kona, Hawaii, who's donated 5 bags of private reserve 100% Kona coffee to 5 lucky winners. So let's raffle the coffee first. Are you guys ready? I'm so excited for this. All right. Okay, let us see. Wow, so that's number 78. Number 78, let me call on. Oh, it's Christine Bornea. Congratulations, you won a Kona Coffee. Yes. Hawaiian Queen Coffee. All right. So let's call on the next. We have number 45. Number 45. We have Davis Achimba. Congratulations. Next winner. We have number 62. We have Morgan Kadenge. Morgan, congratulations. And the fourth winner, we have number 54, Jacqueline Aber. Congratulations, Jacqueline, for winning the coffee. And for the fifth winner, we have number 22. Yes, we have Yonfil Jumawan. Congratulations for winning. Of course, we are not yet done, okay? Yes, we also have 5 lucky winners who will win a copy of the WFWPI UN Office in New York's Peace, Women, and Environment art book. Wow, this is a beautifully curated hardcover art book which depicts the activities and impact of the UN office in New York's work. Okay, so we have number 66. So who was the winner of the art book? Number 66, we have Tirth Shah. Congratulations, Tirth. And the second winner, yes, we have number 59. Number 59, we have, of course, Newton and Gomya. Congratulations, Newton. And next we have number 2. Who is number 2? We have Monica Kellett. Congratulations, Monica, for winning. And of course, the last we have number 37. We have Hyowon Barlaan. Wow, congratulations, Hyowon. All right. So, oh, the last one. Okay. Last one, we have number 63. Of course, Margaret Kamara. So there we have it, all the winners of the coffee and the art book. So congratulations to all our 10 winners. The winners will be followed up with an email by the GFG team. All right. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so grateful to have been your MC for this event. You know, my heart is full and I'm just so honored to be with you all today. My name is Abby Cruz Ramos and I feel inspired to give for good. And you know what? I will pass the mic on to Ms. Merly for the final closing remarks. God bless everyone. Ms. Merly, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Abby. You've been such a wonderful MC and host. It's amazing. Today, my heart is filled with joy, overwhelming joy and gratitude. I don't have enough words to describe it, but I want to thank all of you. Thank you for joining us today. And I know that we are so busy and all over the world, the time is different. It doesn't match, but I really feel that today the stars and the moons of the universe and the heavens have aligned to allow us to make our path cross to solve our climate issues and to be the beautiful and responsible stewards of the planet, our home. It is our shared calling, and I hope that this event will serve as a clarion call for each one of us and it will hit our heart. My team, Grace, Mako, and Charlene, thank you. You've been working so hard. And everyone, Miss Abby and our registration team, you are such a joy to work with. You gave me so much hope. And our donors, our partners, our sponsors, and most of all, Dr. Jin Moon and our president, Dr. Julia Moon, who inspired us and supported us in expanding our programs and empowering us with our heart and mind at peace. So, yeah, I'd like to close this program with love and Peace to all of you. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. Everyone, kindly give yourselves a warm round of applause till our next events. Yay!
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye bye. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you